Hey guys, in this month's Disney Rewind, we're going to be talking about Season 1 of Loki. So, before we do head into our thoughts and feelings on the Disney Plus series Loki, we are definitely going to be having spoilers in here because it might require talking about some of the movies from the Marvel Universe. So yeah. I guess we'll get going. Stephanie, how did you feel about Loki?
It was alright.
It was alright! Oh, Stephanie.
It's kind of confusing at times. A lot of times.
It was very confusing.
I still don't understand the whole Loki thing. I thought the Loki thing was one would go away and then there's another one, but it didn't. I was confused.
Okay, Stephanie
I thought there was only like one Loki in existence, but they just changed multiple times.
No, that's why they introduced the multiverse. That was the whole... That was the... You know, seriously, I think what this show was intended for, because I mean, it was intended to, you know, give Tom Hiddleston some more time as Loki. Because, I mean, you know, Endgame... No, not Endgame. Yeah, Endgame? Or Infinity War. You know, Infinity War, he was just so brutally abruptly killed by Thanos. You know? So I feel like this show was definitely, okay, let's give the fans who love Loki, let's give him a little bit more time, you know, since we just abruptly took him away and just killed him so brutally. And I think it served that function, so we can spend more time with him, because he is a fan favorite character. But I think it also, what this show also served was introducing more of the idea of the multiverse, because I think the whole entire next chunk of the Marvel movies that are coming out, to me, I just kind of judging from a lot of the titles and the synopsises they've given, it seems like all of them have something to do with multiverses. You know, like they're introducing all of this crazy cosmic craziness and weirdness, and I think this show is kind of an attempt to kind of ease you into that a little bit. But oh boy, did they make it really confusing. I was even telling Stephanie this. I have seen other shows that have dealt with the multiverse theory. I have seen plenty of other things that talk about the multiverse, and they explain it much more simplistically and easier.
I feel like they just were doing more talking than they should. Like, yeah. Because these movies think they have to be smarter than their audience to be cool, and that they just over-explained it. And when you over-explain, then that kind of just threw me off. When obviously, I know what they mean, but... same time, they were trying to make it sound like there was more to it.
They said an overly... that's the problem. It was overly explained. A lot of what was going on in the show...
They didn't have to have half that conversation.
Yeah, a lot of what was going on in the show was just really overly explained.
Especially that last episode. I was like,
especially the very last episode.
You're putting too much unnecessary info, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like they were just trying to fill in time, you know? And it's like, we're not stupid, we get it. Just get to the point. And, you know, simplify it. Yeah, because like I said, I've seen something like his Dark Materials. His Dark Materials and The Man in the High Castle. Those are two big shows that deal with multiverses. And they explain it really simply and easily and to the point, you know? Yeah, like I said, Loki just... This show is just like, okay, we're just going to be really overly complicated about it. And it's not really an overly complicated thing once you kind of wrap your head around it, you know? But either way, I did like the show. I did really enjoy it. Did I understand all of it? No. I didn't entirely understand all of it, but I still really loved it, because more than anything I just wanted to see Tom Hiddleston's Loki again. Let's be real. Six episodes. Man, they sure did cram a lot in 6 episodes. It's like, in some ways, I feel like they crammed a lot in, but also not enough. It was just weird. You know, I don't know if you kind of felt that way. It's like, sometimes it felt like they were cramming in too much, but then other times it felt like they weren't cramming in enough. You know, I don't know, it's just weird because it was 6 episodes. I think my favorite episodes were easily episodes, I don't know, I guess 3, 4, and 5. I think I like 3, 4, and 5 the best. Because episode 3 was the one where they were on that planet trying to escape from...
I found that the most unnecessary episode.
Really? Well, cause the point of that episode, because we had to get to know Sylvie, though. That was setting up Sylvie so we can get to know Sylvie and start in their relationship. I don't know how else they could have kind of got through with that. But yeah, I like that episode with the planet that was like exploding. Or no, something was coming crashing down on it, the moon or something. I can't remember. I like that episode. And then the episode after that, when they got rescued, and then they were
kind
all...
of interrogated.
And yeah, they were being interrogated, and they were all finding out about, hey, the TVA has lied to you, and this and that. And then 5 being all the multiverse Lokis, right?
Yeah.
That was easily my favorite episode with all the Lokis. I love that. But yeah, I think 3, 4, and 5 were probably the strongest episodes in my opinion. Because even though I liked episodes 1 and 2, those 2 episodes I think had to build up a lot. They had to set up a lot because you had to get to know what the TVA was. You know, they had to get you familiar with the idea of the TVA. And then, yeah, I mean, if I had to have a least favorite episode, it probably would be the last episode.
The last episode was weird too because like they barely spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Loki and Sylvie barely spoke, and it was just kind of like they're just hanging out there, just to
listening to this guy speak.
It was weird.
I mean, the strongest parts of episode 6, though, I think were the stuff with Loki and Sylvie, though. You know, when they finally turned on each other, because he's like, you can't trust and I can't be trusted, or whatever. You know, I think that whole ending of that episode was the best in probably the whole series. But yeah, it's like everything else that kind of came before in that episode was just like, oh Lord. Like, once again, overly complicated when it could have been simplified. Because like I said, I've seen plenty of other shows that talk about multiverses, and they don't go bizarrely crazy like that episode 6 did of Loki. God, I don't even know where to start with this show. I liked it. I really liked it. Because I am excited for a season. Are you, even though you were confused, it seems like you're a bit lackluster with it. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from. I mean, are you still excited for like a season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I'm upset that the bromance has been erased.
Oh, the bromance.
That they don't, Mobius doesn't remember Loki.
He will remember, though. Their bromance is going to stand the test of time.
I was confused by that whole thing, though. What happened?
Because
I'm assuming because
I'm assuming because of the timeline, because they killed that guy, the timeline just started branching like insanely, you know, and that included the TVA. Mobius, like, oh, we don't remember anything, or we don't know who you are, you know, like, Loki didn't pop into the timeline he was kind of at originally with, like, Mobius. He popped up into, like, another timeline, it seems, where Mobius don't know him, I guess. I don't know, once again, it's overly complicated. It's like, I can process it in my head. It kind of makes sense in my head, but like trying to talk about, that's the problem. That's what I'm having difficulty with this video so far, is like just talking about stuff, because it's difficult to like express things, because it is so weird, you know, but it's like I get it in my head somewhere, you know, but I just can't think of the words to talk. But yeah.
Was the little clock lady evil?
Miss Minutes? Somebody explain Miss Minutes to us. I mean, was she evil? Is she evil? I think Miss Minutes is going to have a greater purpose. I thought all season she was going to be the big bad, you guys. I seriously thought...
CGI clock lady.
Yeah, I was like, this little clock lady, animated clock lady, I was like, she is going to be screwing up some stuff behind the scenes and nobody's going to even know it.
She's the real mastermind.
Yeah, she's the real mastermind behind the TVA. Because, yeah, you know, they kept stressing, you know, because Loki wanted to see the leaders of the TVA so much, you know, the timekeepers. And I was like, oh, this is just too easy, you know, it's like, it can't be as easy as that. And I kept thinking, yeah, it's like when he meets them, they're not going to be who they are, you know. I kind of felt like something was going to happen there was going to be a twist, because, yeah, I was really on about Miss Minutes. And then even Ravonna, is that her name? Ravonna? I was kind of always suspicious about her from the beginning, too, that she was maybe a mastermind behind stuff, too. Which I'm still kind of confused. I mean, I'm still not sure what to think of her. She's a villain? Good guy? A villain? I don't know. And then what was that one lady? B-15? Right? B-15? I warmed up to her. I'm glad I was able to warm up to her because at first I hated her. Because I was like, lady, don't you be talking to my Loki that way.
You keep beating up Loki.
Yeah, don't you be talking to my Loki that way and beating him up. But yeah, I'm glad she saw the light about the TVA eventually. And I warmed up to her as a character. You liked Mobius?
Yeah.
I liked Mobius a lot too. The bromance was everything. How'd you feel about Sylvie? I liked Sylvie. At first, let me tell you, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about Sylvie. I was like, I really don't know. But once they kind of started introducing her a little bit more and developing her personality, I was like, okay, I'm like her. I can get on board this. Now, as far as her and Loki, I mean, she's a Loki too. I mean, that was very confusing. I don't know what the hell this show... I mean, isn't that incest? Isn't that technically some sort of incest with two Lokis? No, I mean, I'm confused. I'm very confused about that.
I kissed and I was over there like...
I was really conflicted about the kiss, because there was a part of me who was like, oh, about damn time, Loki finally kissed a woman, you know, kiss somebody. I was like, about time, but then I was like, but wait, I mean, that's him. I'm confused. Is that incest? I don't know. It is confusing. I did really just like the whole show, what it did for just Loki's character in general, because it gave his character some time to do a lot of reflection, like self-reflection. You know?
So like he was in one massive timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, Loki, he needed himself a timeout. He needed some time to think and chill, because he's never had time to just really think about himself and about his actions, you know? Because in the movies, he'll kind of have those moments. He'll be a little self-reflective, but it don't really last long, you know? So I love that the show... It's like, it gave Loki some time to chill and really be self-reflective and think about his decisions and his mistakes and who he is, who he was, who he wants to be.
And he also was shown stuff that he didn't even know about.
Yeah, because, that was something you had to keep in mind during the entire show as you were watching, because this is the Loki from Endgame after, the first Avengers movie. This is not the Loki that has gone through the Dark World or Ragnarok, who's gone through changes. He's still a villain here. So, yeah, I like that.
Because then, he didn't know about his mama.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He didn't know the clips where they were showing Thor, like, complimenting him or, like, saying stuff about, even though he's crazy, he's still my brother, kind of vibe stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he saw himself die. When Thanos killed him, he saw himself die. It's like he had a really strong reaction to that. And because the whole thing of the show, too, it was also this whole thing of, like fate and destiny and free will, because Loki was fighting back the entire season, because Mobius and the TVA just kept saying, you have a timeline, it's, there's an end point to it. We know there's an end point to it, and it's like, so Loki, his whole thing is like, so where's this whole thing of free will? Don't I have free will in anything? Because if it's predetermined, it's all very philosophical. It got very deep and philosophical sometimes, and I actually kind of like that. But yeah, I liked all the Loki stuff. It was really good. And I just love listening to Tom Hiddleston speak, you guys. I mean, he can just talk. He can read the dictionary to me, it'd be great.
We should have done this after they come out with the behind the scenes video.
Oh yeah, we're filming this video right now before the behind the scenes featurette has come out. So I feel like the behind the scenes featurette will explain maybe some of our lingering questions. Tom Hiddleston's gonna be talking, because he don't know how to shut up, and I love him for that. And apparently, I guess we'll go back to the very last episode. Apparently, the mysterious dude at the end, apparently he's a big comic book character known as Kang the Conqueror. And I guess that's a big deal. The thing is, it's like, I don't know if the show made it as much of a big deal as it should be. Because I think people who have read the comics, I think they probably were able to pick up those details, and they knew that was Kang the Conqueror. But like for us, I mean, I don't think I've read a single Marvel comic that had Kang the Conqueror in it. Because I've only read a
I've never even heard that name.
I've heard the name. I have heard the name, and I know what he looks like. But yeah, I've never read a comic focused on Kang the Conqueror. So I know about him in name only. But yeah, the show, I don't think the show did a good enough job of like really heightening him and like he's a big deal. And apparently what we also found out after it ended is that he's going to be like, it sounds like he's going to be one of the villains in the next Ant-Man movie?
Unless that article I read was incorrect.
No, because I kept seeing stuff about him that, because that actor he's in Ant-Man and the Wasp or whatever, the next Ant-Man movie.
That was confirmed.
So, it sounds like this character, because since it ended, the show ended and, you know, we saw all those branching timelines. And he kept saying, hey, if you kill me, you're actually making a mistake. Because that was his whole thing. He was there in that area, at the end of the world, or whatever that was. He was there to prevent another timeline war, is how he kind of kept wording it, right? He kept saying, I'm kind of here and to prevent another timeline war, because one happened before. And yeah, hey, if you kill me, you're just going to start another one. And so that's what happened. That's why I went all crazy there at the end, and why Mobius didn't remember, you know. So it seems like the events of the Loki series, it almost seems like that last episode is rather important, but it's like it doesn't seem important. You know, it's like they didn't do a good job of making it feel important, but it's like I think it is important. Especially if that's going to kind of go into the movies. I don't know. I just don't know how this is going to possibly tie into the movies. You know, especially if he's supposed to be the next big thing after Thanos, I guess. I don't know. I'm just really confused about the whole thing. I feel like I lost my train of thought in there somewhere too. I have so many thoughts right now. I have branching timelines in my head right now. Stephanie, don't you have anything to say? I feel like Stephanie doesn't ever sit and talk in these videos. I feel like I sit and talk and she's just like,
I don't know what to say. All I know is to say I like it. And that's about it.
Okay, let's move to our rating. I guess we'll move to our rating. I feel like we're leaving something out. Are we leaving something out, you guys? You know, I love the humor of the show. It was hilarious. I love the humor. I think it was really well written. I think the whole show was really well written. Great cast.
It's just funny how after the first Thor, that they all of a sudden decided that, like, they made Loki a sympathetic character in the first movie, and then after that, then all of a sudden he became a comedic character.
Yeah, he is
right. like how that happened.
Yeah, you know he is. He's so serious in that first Thor movie. He has turned into more of a comedic character, which I liked him. I think the show definitely had a good budget, because I mean there was some pretty big epic set pieces. I mean, because you had the TVA in general, you know, and then
they had that
one
world. They had that whole one-shot scene.
Oh, on the world that the thing was coming,
the moon was coming crashing down. The biggest green screen in existence, probably, or was it one of those? I wonder if they used that technology
from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, with the whole
I want to
looking
say,
like you're there.
Yeah, because I know the Mandalorian has been using a new technology where they have some sort of wraparound green screen of some sort, and they can put a background on it to help like the actors. I guess get more into the world or something like that. I'm not really quite sure how it works, but Disney developed some sort of new technology with like a big huge wraparound green screen or something like that. I feel like they probably implemented it here in Loki, because there was a lot of big moments of like huge CG and it looked great. You know, because there was that one word, I think it was called Lamentus, the world. Lamentus, that episode, that whole Lamentus looked, that whole world of Lamentus, the episode, that looked great.
Very fond of one shots, so one big long one shots and chaos that I enjoy.
Oh, the multi Lokis. Who was your favorite multi Loki?
Obviously, the alligator.
The alligator. Oh my god! Seriously, I love the episode. That was probably my favorite episode. Was the multi Lokis. That was brilliant and great. It was great seeing Loki, because you know Loki he's just a certain sort of way, and it was just funny to see him kind of interacting with all these other Lokis. And it's like he's like, wait, hold up. This is weird. Like, even for him, this is weird. You know? But yeah, Richard E. Grant, I loved him as classic Loki. He looked just like...
I had no clue he was
going to be in it.
Popping up.
Yeah. He looked just like classic Loki from those old comics. With, you know, the yellow outfit that's so horrible looking. Yeah. But he was able to pull it off, though.
I feel like only he...
Yeah, only
Richard E. Grant has the guts to be like, I'll put that
suit on. I was really thrilled about Kid Loki, because I've read the I believe the whole series with Kid Loki is called like Journey into Mystery, something like that. I freaking love that whole arc with Kid Loki in the comics because I've read the whole thing. He's one of my favorite like versions of Loki, so I was like thrilled to see Kid Loki. I was super excited because then I got excited thinking, oh, maybe they'll do a whole show for, you know, spin off for like Kid Loki or something because I love Kid Loki that much.
Well, then Kid Loki would grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he would look like Tom Hiddleston probably. And then yeah, Alligator Loki, the best. Yeah, I loved him too. That was your favorite?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually just saw a T-shirt on one of these random sites I get on, you know, and you know, I'm getting somewhere. And you know, on Despicable Me, the little girl when she picks up the unicorn, she's like, "That's so cute, Fluffy." Mm-hmm. Well, somebody made a T-shirt with Kid Loki holding the alligator Loki, and I think it was supposed to be mocking that because he's holding it like this, and he's like, "It's I think it says it's an alligator Loki." And I was like, "Oh, that's cute," because that was probably what everybody was thinking.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love, yeah, Alligator Loki was the best. And of course I loved President Loki. Yes, I'm all about that. Okay, rating. I'm afraid to ask your rating. What would you rate Loki, Stephanie?
I don't know, I'll give it an 8.
An 8? God, I'm trying to think. I think I might go for an 8 as well.
I don't know. I feel like I need to rewatch these shows. Because I feel like so much, you know, unlike a regular show, a regular cop show, a regular drama show, these shows have so much stuff in
There's
them.
so much detail.
And I feel like I need to watch them.
And something I've kind of noticed with all these...
Like, you can't just have one viewing. Like, I feel like there's stuff that...
Yeah.
And then you catch stuff that you didn't think about before.
I feel like that's kind of something I've noticed with all these Disney Plus Marvel shows so far. It's like there's so many details and so many little threads. And I think it does require a rewatch. And especially like something like WandaVision. I'm definitely really excited to do like a rewatch of WandaVision at some point because it's like the answers are there, you know. A lot of the answers are there and all the clues and teases are there from the beginning. I feel like, you know, now that you like, you know, the end of WandaVision, you know. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite so far? Because I think WandaVision is still my favorite. I think God, would I still put WandaVision at number 1? I feel like, seriously, I freaking love WandaVision, you guys. I think I still might have WandaVision as my first, and then Loki is like a very, very, very close second, and then Falcon Winter Soldier for me. Or would it be totally different for you?
I don't know. Maybe because Falcon the Winter Soldier was more straightforward to my poor brain.
But yeah,
I mean, they're close together.
Yeah, they're all good. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're all
Loki
good.
was bad.
Yeah.
I just
It's
feel
confusing.
like there was too much.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Because they're trying to bring in this whole thing, and without putting it in the movies. And then I'm like, okay, well, I feel like when casual Marvel people go to the movies, they're gonna be like, what? Because some of these casual Marvel people probably aren't even watching these TV shows.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
They're delving now into something, whereas this first chunk of Marvel stuff was simple, you know? And now I feel like they're getting too far in, that it's kind of going to start, like, regular viewers might still go, but they're going to be like, I have no clue what happened, but I think I liked it, but, you know?
Yeah, if Loki had to suffer from something, the show, it definitely just suffered from just
and maybe
being overly complicated.
They're like, people like Loki. They want to see him again. Let's take this, what we think is a confusing plot, and put it with Loki, and it'll be okay, because everybody loves Loki.
Yeah. Yeah, I still really love the show. It's just, it was very overly complicated. It needs to be simplified. But yeah, an 8 rating for both of us? Yeah. I think that's about it. There's a lot that could be talked about with the show, because it gets really deep and philosophical in places. Like, I feel too stupid to even talk about some of it. You know? Like, about as deep as I can get with this review is definitely, like, you know, Loki's self-reflection. You know? It's like I got that. I got, like, the psychological stuff going on there with him. You know, what it meant for his character, you know? But yeah, like, there's this other stuff. Yeah, like, the whole thing of free will. I've had enough free will. I've been watching you know, like Westworld and stuff. I have enough of this whole, you know, philosophical thing of free will on Westworld. I don't need no more on Loki. Yeah, I don't even know if you can make God said. I don't know if you can make it through Westworld. I think it's complicated as can be.
Good thing it didn't look good to me.
But yeah, is that it? You guys, if you watched Loki, feel free to talk about it with us down below. Nerd out with us, geek out, fangirl about Tom Hiddleston if you want. That's okay. His hair, his dramatic hair flipping. I love all his dramatic hair.
I should have got a chalkboard from episode 1 and just
how many times he flipped his hair back dramatically.
Just marked off.
So yeah, you guys, that's it for this review of season 1 of Loki. Definitely can't wait for season 2, because now that we got all this other stuff out of the way, we should just be able to like just jump right into season 2. You know, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.